and Michael's lockdown. You're all welcome again to Trim, or rather to Bective Abbey, which is a few miles outside of Trim. This monastery was founded in 1147 by the Cistercians, and it was the second Cistercian monastery in Ireland. The first was Mellifont, which isn't all that far away in County Louth. The remains you can see date mainly from the 13th to the 15th centuries, and they include the church, the chapter house, and the cloisters. Some of the Gothic arches of the cloisters still remain in very good condition, and they're one of the features of the monastery. The monastery was suppressed by Henry VIII at the time of the suppression of the monasteries, and it was rented out to a landowner who turned it into a fortified house. Bective Abbey has been used at least 3 times as a location for Hollywood films. In 1955, it was used for part of Captain Lightfoot, which starred Rock Hudson. In 1995, parts of Braveheart were shot here. And in 2020, Ridley Scott filmed some of his medieval epic, The Last Duel, here at Bective Abbey. With its many rooms and stairs and hiding places, Bective Abbey has also been a favourite playground for children over the years.
Diva Cordia. I hope you're all keeping very well today. The year was 1981, and I had just returned from singing one of my concerts with the Scottsdale Symphony Orchestra in Arizona. And I bumped into my old friend, the late Father Michael Murchan, and he was then parish priest of Rathkenny. I said, Matt, would you like to make an appearance with us in Rathkenny Revels? And I said, sure, I'd love to. And he said, well, have you any ideas of what you might like to do? Well, funny enough, I said, there's a song very popular at the moment, and it celebrates the life of the painter, the artist Vincent van Gogh. And I said, I thought it would be nice to do a scene or a scenelet or some little tribute to enhance that piece of music. I said, that sounds like a good idea. So in 1981, I sang with Rathkenny Revels in their annual show and selected this song called Vincent. And Vincent was composed by Don McLean, the American singer-songwriter. Now he's a very talented singer-songwriter and a great guitar player. So to do a good job, the song needed somebody that could sing it and somebody that could play an accompaniment. And at that time in 1981, I was friendly with a young Navan classical guitar player, what I called Pat Coldrick, who has since become an established classical guitar player in his own right. And he was then a teenager, and this is how this song was sung in Rathkenny Revels 1981. Father Murchan created a scene. Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and grey. Look out on a summer's day, with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and daffodils, catch the breeze and winter chills in colours on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They wouldn't listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds of violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They wouldn't listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left in sight on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers sometimes do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met. The ragged men in ragged clothes, silver thorn or bloody rose, lie crushed and broken neath the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they'll never will.
Here's a short poem by Emily Dickinson. Most of her poems are in fact short. She was born in 1830 in Amherst, Massachusetts in the United States, where she lived most of her life. She wrote a large number of poems, over 1,800, a few of which were circulated among friends, but only 10 of them were published during her lifetime. She seems to have spent most of her later life in isolation. Her poems are unusual for her times, usually containing short lines. They didn't have titles. They often use slant rhyme as well as unusual punctuation. She died of heart failure in Amherst, Massachusetts in 1886 at the age of 55. She's now considered to be one of the greatest of American 19th century poets. It doesn't have a title, but it's often titled, I'm Nobody. I'm nobody. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd advertise, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog, to tell one's name the livelong June to an admiring bog.
It's not often I get inspired to attempt a Frank Sinatra song, and I don't know where the inspiration comes from today, but I said I would have a go, with apologies to all Frank Sinatra fans. Here's one. It Had to Be You. Why do I do just as you say? Why must I just give you your way? Why do I sigh? Why don't I try to forget? It must have been that something flowers call fate kept me saying I have to wait. I saw them all, just couldn't fall till we met. It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found the somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, and even be glad just to be sad, thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be me, might never be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do. For nobody else give me a thrill with all your force. I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. Oh. For nobody else give me a thrill with all your faults. I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you.
cold or whether you're wet, you'll weather it better with a warm, welcoming Knorr soup. Like Knorr blended golden vegetable. Wholesome, nourishing vegetables, selected and blended for a soup that's thick but smooth. Soup in a cup or soup in a bowl, there's no soup more satisfying. Knorr soup. So good you go.
A few years ago, I took my cousin from Australia around the home place. She was home on holidays and wanted to see the various places where our mothers had spent their youth. Baptismal font. We toured the territory, the bleak sanatorium where our granny died, the railway line where Grandad spent his working life, their primary schools, the village dance hall, the station platform where her mother caught the last train to Dublin and far beyond, the graveyards, resting places of quiet generations, Gallaghers and Harringtons. But it was the font she came back to, smooth white marble, coloured pedestal. I assured her it was original, there 100 years. This is where our mothers were baptised on their first outings, cried loudly, I like to think, in recognition of what lay ahead, all that crazy fret to be negotiated, endured, overcome. She delayed there, savouring the link to a lost age. Sprinkle blessed water. I thought of rain, tears, and infinite oceans. She'll return to her faraway home, but will never again dip fingers in holy water without remembering this forgiving font, quietly waiting, and all the warm, heart-scalding miles between. We'll finish this week with a special treat. Over 500 boys and girls, men and women of all ages from Trim, representing Trim schools, musical societies, choirs, groups and individuals, gathered together to record their version of We Are the World and show that Trim stands in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. It was organised by local music teacher Michal Kerr. A GoFundMe page was set up to raise funds to send directly for relief of Ukrainian refugees in neighbouring countries. And when they needed someone to start off the song, the obvious choice was Matt. Well done, everyone. Enjoy this and have a good week.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one.